Hello again, Struck Pop. Welcome back to another evening of streaming. Today it will be Torchlight 3 and I will be leveling up my Forged as I was planning from a long time ago. My Forged Spin to Win Cold Hard build. The spinning, I'm not sure how to call it, but I think I'm gonna stick with the spinning icicle or spinning ice ball. Let's call it spinning ice ball. Spinning ice ball build. So let's make that spinning ice ball build and start leveling it up. Tomorrow I do not have any planned video editing to do, so that means more streaming. Today I uploaded my early access impressions of Sense of Salzar, which has been out for quite some time but in Chinese, and now Sense of Salzar is also available with an English localization update. So some of you might enjoy Sense of Salzar. You might wanna check it on my YouTube channel. Spinning ice ball. I can't have the G here. Not enough. If I add the G, then the L here gets removed. That's actually a very fun way of how it works. But okay, I always take this. Cold Heart. Boom. So it might be rough at the start. It might be rough leveling this guy on Ridiculous. If I feel like I'm struggling, I'm probably gonna change the difficulty. I will start on Ridiculous though. I will start on Ridiculous. I just take any pet, it doesn't matter really. Yeah, it's time. It is finally time to do some more Torchlight 3. The game's launching soon. We'll see when. I'm hoping they give us at least 3 or 4 weeks advance notice, and it's definitely not smart to launch a game when Path of Exile or Diablo have new seasons coming. So hopefully they would maybe launch in a few weeks from now, when people have gotten bored playing Path of Exile's new league, and hopefully there isn't a new Diablo season when this game launches. If they place the launch date at a very good time, when there hasn't been a recent Path of Exile or a Diablo content update, it would still probably do kind of okay. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of things in the game I wish could change, but if you remember, many games didn't launch with even half of the things that this game has in regards to polish, in regards to things you can do in the game, in regards to systems. Just a moment, I'm setting up my monitoring. Just a second. I forgot to switch my other device to monitor my stream. Okay, there we go. I can see it now when I watch on the side. Okay. So yeah, with this guy, we'll see what I'll do. I'm obviously going for Snowstorm to freeze enemies, and I'm obviously going for Ice Shield to shoot at enemies that are next to me, because I mean, I'm spinning and I'm shooting icicles from around me when I'm spinning. This is just so fun as a way of playing. This visually really pleasing kind of thing that I've always wanted to do. And since Ice Storm is kind of fixed now, apart from maybe the freezing crit not working all the time, but apart from that, it is fixed. Oh shit, I forgot. Vortex bomb. Okay. Can't play a Forge without getting a vent skill. I mean, you can play it, but it's gonna be difficult playing without event skill. Unless you play a relic only build. And you can't start with a relic only build. Or can you? On some relics, actually Sword Smash, I think on the Flaming Destroyer you can get from level 1. And I'm pretty sure Walk-Away Storm you can get on level 1. Or maybe Sword Smash is not level 1. On the Cold Heart, I can get Frostblast at 5, but yeah. Ice Shield is probably gonna be my next point. Ice Shield, even as a 1-pointer, is a great skill. I'm gonna try and get the pet icicles here. We'll see. We'll see whether I'm gonna go for tier 1 or tier 2, but I definitely want tier 3 here. And I definitely want... I'm not a big fan of the tier 1 bonus knocking enemies back, because you want the enemies close to you. You wanna be doing damage with the spins. It will be a Cyclone mode build. And just a great synergy for Snowstorm. I've done so many spinny builds. I think the only relic I haven't done a spin to win build on so far has been the Flaming Destroyer, and I can just as easily do one. But can't blame me for liking Cyclone mode when it's such a fun skill. In general, if you've watched me play other games, you would know spin to win is my jam. But yeah, tomorrow there's gonna be more streaming, because I don't have to edit a video tomorrow. That, at least I'm not planning on editing video, you never know what's gonna happen. I wasn't planning on editing that video today, but last night after I stopped streaming, my brother told me, hey bro, did you hear about Sense of Salzar? It's finally out with the English patch, which I've actually been waiting for, and he has been waiting for. And I said, alright, I'm gonna start recording myself so I can get some footage. And before I knew it, I spent 4 hours playing Sense of Salzar last night. I thought I only played for an hour, then I look at my recorded time and I'm like, shit, when did I record 4 hours 20 minutes? Wow, okay. Rafael Sanchez, whether I can recommend this game, it depends on the person. I wouldn't want to recommend the game for the person that this game is not the right game for. If you tell me what you like in games, are you a person that likes build variety? Are you a person that likes complex builds like Path of Exile? Or do you like a little bit less build depth, but still enough build variety? Do you like fast-paced, gotta go fast speed running, or are you fine if the time to kill is longer than compared to Path of Exile and Chronicon? Some people prefer super fast time to kill, one-shotting everything then moving on, one-shotting everything then moving on. And this game is not designed in such a way because even when you attack enemies, you would see. You could be killing some enemies, but then at the same time there would be some more spawning. I'm gonna try and demonstrate it. You don't have every single monster spawned once you load into a map. For example, I have to get over here to get some skeletons to appear. I'm gonna try and demonstrate it over here, there's a good example. See, those skeletons, they weren't here and I couldn't attack them immediately. So speedrunning on this game is not the same as in other games. So if you tell me what you are looking for in a game, I can tell you whether this game is worth playing for you. It's super specific because this game is doing things differently than some other games in the genre. Some people dislike it, some people love it. I really love how some of the things are done. I really love the time to kill on certain parts of the game. I mostly have problems with the end game. That's the only thing I have problems with. The end game and some of the affixes which become super overpowered in the end game. But apart from that, I'm super happy about a lot of things such as the build diversity. The not so much but still decent amount of item diversity, which also is tied and linked together with the build diversity, because you need specific legendary items to make specific builds. So in a way the things are intertwined, but I strongly would recommend the game if you like the things I mentioned. If you like weird classes, each class of the 4 classes has its own weird mechanic. Some people hate this. I've read people that are shitting on this game and are just only writing bad comments, saying that the classes are boring and not as fun as Torchlight 2. I would disagree here. I'm a big fan of the classes in this game, and I love them just as much as I love the classes in Torchlight 2. But again, some people have different preferences. And again, as I said, some people might want to be moving and one-shotting everything with one skill and then moving to another group of enemies and one-shotting everyone there. Well, this game is not really designed in that way. It's not gonna give you the same playstyle as Chronicon can give you, for example. But I actually like this. I like that the game is not forcing me to keep up a skill streak so that I can get more XP, and if I'm not killing things quickly, I'm losing XP. It's not like this in this game. I can kill a bunch of enemies, then maybe go wood some items, check certain things, and then when I think it's time, I can move on to the next group of enemies. Instead of the game pushing me, like for example different games, to constantly keep killing, to keep that XP per hour going. The difficulties are also not too bad. The only thing I don't like about the difficulties is the movement speed increase of the enemies when the difficulty goes higher. I would much rather see the enemies becoming smarter and trying to flank you and trying to avoid your attacks when you're shooting missiles and projectiles and things like that, instead of just giving them movement speed and damage and HP. I mean, damage and HP is always a must-have for increased difficulties. But I'm not a big fan, because with the movement speed you're probably gonna see me kiting on this melee build often. Yes, it's easy to reset the hero skills. You can't get the full reset, but every 5 levels you get something called a Respectacle. And there's multiple sources of getting Respectacle. One of them is every 5 levels, the other one is killing named monsters and bosses. If you kill named monsters and bosses and wood boss chests, there is a chance of them to drop a Respectacle. And there's a third source of Respectacles, which is contracts. Contracts are like a battle pass system, but it's free. You don't pay a single cent for this. It might look like a battle pass system, but it's free for everyone and free forever. And that's what I like to say. So free forever, free for everyone. Basically the way it works is you have 40 contract levels. Each contract level gives you a different reward. And every now and then you would see those Respectacles. And there's 3 different types of contracts. At any time you can switch between one and the other. This one gives you more map stuff. This one gives you more crafting stuff. This one gives you more fort decorations and things like that. So you select the contract you want, you keep leveling it, and you have 40 levels, 40. 40 levels of one-time rewards. Rewards that you can get one time only. Once you finish level 40, you have 9 repeatable rewards. You can whoop those endlessly. You start from this level, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. and 9, and then after you finish this one, you go back to 1. So you can endlessly whoop this. Each contract has slightly different rewards in the whoop, but each contract has Respectacles. So every 9 repeatable contract levels you get another Respectacle. So you have drops, you have those every 5 hero levels while you're leveling up, and once you're max level, which is 60, you can farm contracts and bosses and boss chests to get respectacles. And contract levels you get by killing champions, and you get fame. 333 fame is needed to get a contract level, and the fame depends on your difficulty and on the champion type. There's purple champions which are elite, there's yellow champions which are legendary, and the best champions are the green, which are unique champions. So unique champions give you 3 times the fame that a purple champion gives you. And the hardest difficulty, ridiculous, gives you 3 times the fame that the lowest difficulty, which is practice, gives you. So if you're playing on practice and you kill a purple enemy, you're gonna get 6 times less than killing a unique enemy on ridiculous, which would be 25 versus 150 fame points. 2 unique enemies give you almost, on ridiculous, 2 unique enemies give you a total of 300 fame. And you need 333 for a level, which kind of should give you an idea. By the way, just a moment, I need to level up. So hopefully this information is useful to you. There's gonna be a lot of new players when the game launches, and I'm probably gonna have to redo my beginner's guide, because I've got a beginner's guide from when the game launched, the early access phase. But yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this because there's been a lot of changes. I'm gonna need to update it. The developers of this game are definitely not afraid to change things, or at least during the early access they weren't afraid to change things, to rework systems from scratch, completely do 180 on a certain system. And that was all thanks to player feedback. Players saying we're not happy about how this works, could you change it? And the developers listened. So one of the best things about this game is how much the developers listen to the community. It could be double-edged blade, listening to the community too much, but so far, again, the game has more good things than bad things for me. For another person, it could be the opposite. So with the risks they've taken in regards to doing some things very untraditional, there's obviously gonna be people getting pissed off because certain things are not done in the traditional way, such as the skill system, which is one of my favorite things in the game. How much freedom I get from the skill system. It's not your traditional skill system where you have to spend points in a certain skill to unlock another skill, which you need to spend points into to unlock a third skill. So it's not like Diablo 2 or Grim Dawn. Put points into skill X, and after you've put a certain number of points into skill X, you unlock skill Y, and then put points into skill Y so that you can unlock skill Z. It's not like this. It's not like this. You just have certain levels required for each skill. This skill requires level 1. This is 5, 10, 15, 20. So you may not want to put a single point over here and just start putting points here at level 20. Or just start putting points here at level 15. You don't need to put points into this one or this one or this one to unlock this one. And another hidden thing that people don't see is the tier 2 bonuses. The tier 2 bonuses of the class skills give you bonuses to the whole hero. So for example, I may not use Rapid Strike as my build, but it gives me 20% bro skill damage. And that means this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, and this skill. All of those skills except this one because it doesn't do damage would do 20% more damage if I invest 6 points into Rapid Strike, if I have the tier 2 bonus. And this is another amazing innovation in the way how they've done the skills. Something that many people may not like, and at the same time many other people would like. So it's not your typical traditional skill system, and I personally love that about it. Okay, I'm missing something. I'm looking for a gravestone. I knew it was here. Okay, we're level 4.
You have received a quest.
I'm not gonna go to General Grey right away. I'm gonna get the waypoint over there and then teleport to the General. I've got like a certain system of how I like to do things when leveling up. And Juicy Pop, nice try with trolling, but the mobile game is called Torchlight Infinite. If you want the mobile Torchlight game, it's called Torchlight Infinite, and it's completely different because Torchlight Infinite is made by a Chinese company. This game is made by an American company. This game doesn't have a mobile version. It will, however, have a version on Switch. When it launches, it will have Switch. It will have PlayStation, Xbox and Switch. But right now there is nothing mobile about this game. In fact, if there was a mobile game as good as this one, I would pay money to play it. I would buy it if there was a mobile game as good as this one. But yeah, it's super easy to jump on the bandwagon of hating a game just because someone else you know hates the game, or you've heard someone else hating a game and calling it a mobile game. But instead of being a sheep and jumping on the bandwagon because others are jumping on it, it's much better to play the game yourself or to try and make up your own opinion after testing it for several hours. 2 hours, for example, which is the minimum, which is the maximum on Steam before we can refund the game, is not enough to even scratch beneath the surface of this game. For 2 hours, you probably won't even get to see most systems that unlock later in the game. So it's probably better to just try and Google something in YouTube. Try and check people playing the game. Don't watch only one content creator. Don't watch just one streamer, because different streamers and different content creators consume and play their games differently. So it's best to not take one streamer and content creator's word and just look it up, research it. Check multiple people playing the game, including me. You shouldn't just take what I say for the actual information, for the best source of information, because the way I consume and play my games is vastly different than the way most other people do it. So in fact, I'm probably the last person you should be kind of looking to into advices whether this game is worth it or not. But I definitely have spent more than 1,000 hours in this game since the alpha version, and I still prefer playing this game to Torchlight 1 and 2, to Diablo 2 and 3. I prefer playing this game even compared to Path of Exile and Grim Dawn, and even though it's super strange how I would prefer a game that is not finished yet and that has been in development, and I would still prefer playing that compared to full released games with years of content behind them, there's something about this game that I just like. And I don't know what it is, but there is something. Okay, I'm gonna start saving up points. But yeah, it's always best to not just look for one source of information, but watch other people's content, watch multiple people stream, see how they're playing differently. Maybe another streamer's content might seem similar to the way you play the game, and you might find something you like there. And the same goes for content, for videos, and so on. All right, let's go back to Edgewood Bluff. But yeah, I don't regret a single hour I've spent in this game, and I've spent many, many. I'm wondering when I'm gonna reach 2,000 hours, but eventually I will. We're getting there. We're getting there. The weirdest thing is I can't know my total hours spent playing the game in the alpha, because it was not on Steam. The alpha was on the Perfect World launcher. And the class I'm playing right now is actually the most underpowered class. If you play it as a ranged class. If you play it as a melee class, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun. This guy would need some serious reworking of his ranged abilities and ranged mechanics to make it on par with the other classes. But if you have 3 decent classes and one that's half decent, because half of his skills are good, that's not a bad thing. Because many games launch with terrible things. If you remember, Diablo 3 had a very bad launch. Do any of you remember how little content Path of Exile had in its first launch, when it first started its early access? In fact, when it first started its early access, it was still closed beta. I remember when I first got my closed beta key. It was nice. Piety was the final boss, I think, back then. so yeah. If you compare this game to other games when they launched, it actually does have a decent amount of content. And it definitely is very polished compared to some other games when they launched. For example, let's compare it to Chaos Bane. Oh boy, Chaos Bane was so bad when it launched, especially with the drop rates, that most people quit within less than 2 months, some within the first few weeks. Because when Warhammer Chaos Bane launched, people were complaining that the drop rates were too good, and they were getting geared up very quickly, and there wasn't anything to do after they got geared up. And then the developers added green items. So red items were the best in Chaos Bane. Then the developers added green items, but made them so difficult to get that I had to spend 12-14 hours a day farming just to get enough gear for my build videos for Chaos Bane. And that remained for another 1 or 2 months until the developers finally realized they fucked up the drop rates of green items and needed to increase them. This game right now has very mediocre, not too good, not too bad drop rates. So some people would love the drop rate, some people would say okay I want more, some people would say okay I want less. But I think right now the drop rates are probably... The drop rates would be good if there was a system to reroll. Right now it's not that easy to get a legendary in this game, but when you do get the legendary, it doesn't feel like a legendary. Because you're gonna have to find another 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 versions of this same legendary before you get the perfect rolls. But at least you get the legendary power. And speaking of legendary powers, this reminds me... Well, I don't have the unstable war arm. I wish I did. Let's see what I can use. That's not a bad choice, I guess. Hmm. I'm just wondering what would be the best thing to use right now. I'll use the crit chance here. And we are ready. Alright, we're ready. But yeah, I think if they add a system to reroll affixes on an item, not just the enchanting but the regular affixes, it's gonna be great. And then I wouldn't mind shitty drop rates that would take me forever to find a specific item, because I would know once I find that item I can just reroll its affixes over and over and over again until I get the right ones. But right now you might need to get 10, 20, 30 or 50 versions of the same legendary item before you get your perfect rolls, before you get things that you want. And there's things like gold drop affixes, which I really don't like. There's potion work affixes, again another thing I really don't like, and sometimes I would get those, or sometimes I would get something else that I don't like. And this is, I mean, it's normal in games to get items with affixes you don't like, but normally in games where that's normal, you kind of have ways to negate this RNG with rerolling with some materials. So that's one of my biggest wishlist things. Top one priority on my wishlist for this game is a rerolling affix system. The same way enchanting works, with the same resources maybe, so you don't have to make new resources. Just instead of rerolling the enchanting affix, to be rerolling the middle affixes, as I like to call them, which is the affixes that items come with when they drop. Alright, let's see what's happening here. Any good drop? A blue drop. Blue drops are amazing when it comes to chest and like armor. Should I use this? Crit chance versus shocked, not really my jam. Let's maybe get this for now. Get this. Oh, thankfully the game reminds me that I've missed the quest items. Okay, that's nice. I love this little change, how they move the quest items here. But yeah, one of the biggest trolls is calling this game mobile. That's one of the most inaccurate things to call this game a mobile game, because there's nothing that screams mobile in this game to me. Even Wosen is more of a mobile game than this, because in Wosen you cannot return to the story zones. When you take Wosen Words of Mayhem and you take the story zones of Wosen, once you're done with that story zone, when you go to the end game mode, you cannot return and travel back and kill enemies. In this game you can return, but of course the enemies would be low level, and there's not gonna be a point right now until they add some scaling. But once I'm done with Act 1 and I'm done with Act 2 and Act 3, I can always come back to those zones. And if they make it so that the enemies scale to your level after finishing the story, that's gonna be a great way for people who don't like the Fazier's dungeon to just do some farming in those zones. Um, they can even consider new game plus or whatever if they want to. I personally don't really want new game plus, and it's gonna take a lot of development time to make it. But I wouldn't mind the monsters in the story zones to scale with my level after I've completed the story. Where is that enemy? I can't see it. It's somewhere there. There we go. It's here. Really need level 5 to get my movement mechanic skill. Oh, fuck this boss. It's gonna take forever and ridiculous to kill this guy. I don't have the patience to do this bullet sponge boss. Bullet sponge is definitely not my preferred way of fighting enemies. And not only is he a bullet sponge, he does a ton of damage. Alright, let's go to that passage. And teleport to the general. Top 2 on my wish list for the game would be a system where I wouldn't have to do the story on my outs, and I can just level them up with anything but the story. And that would be nice to have all my traveling from one waypoint to the other unlocked on my out, and I can just level them in the story zones, but without needing to do the quests. So creating an out after you finish the story once, to give you an option to make unlocked out where all the quests have been done, and I can travel freely from one zone to the other without needing to complete quests. Because right now if I try to go to the next zone, it probably won't let me because I haven't progressed my quest. So it would be nice if on outs this is not a thing, and I could just travel from one zone to the other without needing to do the quests, without needing to talk to NPCs, and I can just level up this way from level 1 to level 40 something without doing a single quest. And that would be my preferred way of leveling up outs after I'm done with the story on this character once.
Potions for you, potions for your little friend.
So this one I'm gonna save, this one I'm gonna sell. Actually, I'm gonna sell this and save this. Sell this, sell this, sell this. Maybe keep this.
Oh yes, potions. I see you next time.
What level am I? Almost 5.
Here for coin. Here for coin.
And I need... I can't buy those yet.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, after turning in the quest, I'm gonna be able to buy a helmet.
Good job with the mushrooms, recruit. What's
Wow,
next?
this didn't give me... Oh yeah, it's not here. The next one is gonna give me the XP.
Help, but that's
Quest complete. You have gained a level. You have gained a quest.
If you have money, I got gear.
Okay. Hmm. What else can I buy? Maybe gauntlets? Actually, fuck this, I'm not gonna go for basic attack build.
You come back with more coin.
I can probably do this now.
Gear for coin. Gear for coin.
And maybe a one-handed weapon. So I can use a shield.
Oh, you'll be back.
Not gonna have as much damage, but we'll see. Maybe it's gonna work well for me.
Just who I wanted to see. I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
I have a lot of good stuff in my storage. Well, maybe not a lot, but a bunch of good stuff for WoW leveling up, but it's mostly level 15, 20 plus. So I'm gonna have to finish this first act before grabbing some spare gear. And the Forge gets the Whirlwind skill at level 20. And this far, my favorite class, I'm not a big fan of this question. What's your favorite class? What's your favorite hero? I don't have a favorite class, but on every class I have favorite builds, and on Forged, anything with Cyclone mode is my favorite. Cyclone mode and Vortex Bomb is my favorite combination when it comes to Forged. I also like Fracking Strike with this one item, the what was its name? This item. The Mountain King leg armor, what's it called? Wheel. So Mountain King wheel in a set combined with Fracking Strike is super fun. On the mage, I love summoner builds, and I also love builds with Absolver and with Entropy. But I also love Holy Fury builds as well. And they're still fun. On the Realm Master, I prefer builds that don't use the train. That's my favorite type of playing the Realm Master, not using the train at all. So Slammer based builds. What else should we mention? On Sharpshooter, I really love builds with summons. And I also love builds with the Infectious Shooter and Scout's Bones. So regardless whether it's a summoner build or not. And on every hero I like proc monster builds. Builds that are trying to get as many procs per second as they can. And I can try and make these builds one such, although if you want a proc monster build, Shocknado Vortex is the better version. Shocknado Vortex is your way to go on the Forged for a proc monster build. So maybe this one would be completely different, we'll see. So instead of having favorite classes, I have favorite builds for every class. I also really love using Drain. Drain with the Blood Drinker on any hero, I love that as a way to build a hero. Drain is probably one of my favorite relic skills. Come on, die. Most overpowered combination, obviously the Bane Train build. One other person who every now and then comes to my channel, Rexer, he made a build. You might want to check his build for the Bane Train. He made a meta build, and he was able to complete the game, the game's end game, all the way to level 251 with a build using the train and the Railmaster with the Bane relic. My Bane build with the train is slightly different because I was focusing on summons rather than the train, and I only had flamethrower car. But if you combine flamethrower car with shotgun car, with miasma, with the puppet master, and with other things, to stack some damages, such as damage to flamethrower car, damage to conductor skills. And if you know how to play it, you're probably better off trying to survive and letting the train do the damage. So probably using a shield for yourself and stacking resistances and defenses and stuff like that. And then just letting the train do the job for you and do the damage. That probably would be pretty good. I haven't watched his builds because I don't like watching other people's builds, because then I might subconsciously copy them. So I just don't watch other people's content if I'm making content for the game. Of course, for games where I'm not making content for that game, I wouldn't mind watching some builds and stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what he took, but I can tell you what I would take if I were to make such a build. And it would be the shotgunner shield, the doom pipe, using the basic train car with the shotgun car, with the flamethrower car, with miasma, with energizer, with puppet master, and with tier 2 lantern flash for the extra bonus damage. I would try to get chance to slow on my weapon or offhand. Actually, I would try to get it on the offhand ideally. And what else should I say there? Oh yeah, and blasting charge. I would get blasting charge tier 1. Maybe tier 2, but oh, and hammer spin. Hammer spin tier 3 would be nice. This probably is a very OP combination. In my opinion, if you look at my electrified sharpshooter and my shocknado vortex build, I think those builds are also super strong. I think those builds are super strong as well, and I think my zealot mage can also be very strong when played the right way, with the right items. My absolver zealot mage. Those obviously kind of strong, but they're strong mostly because stacking a proc monster kind of build, using the electrode and its thunder strikes. That's one of the main things that makes those builds strong. And I think they may not be as strong as the Bane Train build, but they're definitely pretty solid. And I love them. I love electrode proc monster builds, where you're trying to make as many hits per second, to have as many procs per second, to keep getting those shock bolts and to keep getting those thunder strikes. Right, let's stop killing enemies and just move on to where my main quest is. Just final group here so I can level up.
Level up.
Okay, I really needed this extra charge here. Explosive end. I have to be very careful with explosive ends, especially if they die at the same time. Trying not to use my potions, because I've only got 2. I mean, I can go to the town and buy potions, obviously, but I'd rather not have to go all the time. Going to the town for potions is the same as toilet breaks. I'd rather not have to do it all the time. So yeah, let's just try and save my potions. Actually, from 2 potions I jumped to 5. Those are almost done. Wait, it says 8 out of 8 alive? That could be a bug. I don't remember those being a pack of 8. Pack of 4 maybe. I doubt there's... Oh, the minions. The minions make it 8. Yeah. I'm not even gonna kill those. I'm just gonna kill the regular enemies, because that's some okay XP. And then let's go. Where the quest is. 7 potions should be enough. Which quest was the one here? Something with Netherim, I think. Okay, let's get those jaw bones. But yeah, Cyclone Mode and Rapid Strike are perfect for proc monster builds where you're stacking multiple hits per second for procs, and not sure if I'm gonna go for a proc monster build, but if I do, it will be fine, even on the cold hard. Oh, that was a lot of them. You remember how satisfying it was when you beat Torchlight 2 on the Outlander? Oh, Outlander was such a fun class. So was the Berserker, for me, a very fun class. I mean, I loved all the classes in Torchlight 2. I probably spent mostly my time playing Outlander and Ember Mage. Or whatever it was called, the mage there. But I did play some Berserker as well. I didn't play much the Engineer though. Maybe just for a few hours or so. I never got to fully complete a playthrough on it. I did love playing mods though. I loved playing mods on Steam in Torchlight 2, and that's what made the game so fun, because you had so many different classes from mods. There's one mod pack that I was playing, Dracus mod pack, which was around 70 different classes you can choose. You had things like a Dragon Knight, you had Paladins, you had Clerics, you had Samurais, and whatever else you want. Mods made Torchlight 2 from a good game to an amazing game, and I'm hoping the same would happen with this game. With mods for the offline version of the game to make it from a decent game to an amazing one with so much variety and so many weird things to do. We'll see how creative the modders will be for this game. It has been confirmed that mod support will be coming for the offline version. Not sure if it's gonna be on launch or shortly after launch, but it will be there, and it's one of the biggest selling points for this game, that there will be mods for the offline version. And someone mentioned that the developers have confirmed that if they like a certain mod and they think it fits the online version, they wouldn't mind bringing it from the offline to the online. If they think something is really nice and worth it. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, so if things seem like bullet sponges, that's the reason, because I've started on the hardest possible difficulty, and yeah, things might take a while to kill. Unless I keep up my gear upgraded all the time. Although I don't even need to kill all of those. That's another thing. I don't have to kill every single elite I encounter. So I might just move. Killing those would be good because it's good XP to kill champions. But if you want to just rush the story on Ridiculous, you don't have to kill all the champions, because there's gonna be a lot of enemies anyways. If you feel under leveled, you can just go and kill a bunch of enemies in a zone you've already done after it respawns then. And boom. Okay, I'm moving on. Almost level 7.
Level up.
Now it's this boss. I kind of made the boss fight a little bit more difficult than it needs to be by pulling some champions. This is gonna take forever. Okay, I'm gonna switch difficulty. I'm gonna go back to practice. It's taking forever to kill this boss. I don't have all day to just kill a single boss. Bullet sponges are just not fun. After the boss fight I can switch back to ridiculous, but yeah. I wish I didn't have to switch characters when switching difficulty. Would have been much better that way. And that's the wrong place. Come on, come on. Alright, here it is. So this way. I'm not even gonna fight on the way to there. I could stay on practice until I feel like I'm under leveled. If I feel like I'm getting under leveled and that I'm not getting enough XP, I can switch back to ridiculous and do a few maps to catch up. But yeah, I just want to be done with this playthrough quickly so I can do my build sooner rather than later. Much better. Okay, let's exit this place. And go kill White Vault. Should be here. Oh, and I've got a skill point. I want that 50-second duration, 50% duration. From the brush skill tree, from the range skill tree of this guy, I mostly just need the sonic pulse. Okay. And this one.
Your inventory is full.
Oh shit, my inventory is full. Who's attacking me? I thought I killed everyone. Oh, what fire damage? Okay, this I like. Percent poison seems like nice one, because I've got some poison there. Let's see some contract rewards, maybe some blue gear bundle. Enter spectacles. Oh, and legendary gear bundle. So Woods Beast Hatch. Crit damage. Not bad. Cooldown, shotgun blast, chance to freeze. That's very good damage. Damage with rapid strike, perfect. Alright, let's move. I'm skipping the cinematics. No spoiling, no spoiling. I've watched them so many times, and I'm also not spoiling you the story if you haven't watched it, if you haven't seen it. Me skipping the cinematics would kind of, at least in a way, not spoil it for you. Okay, what's here? I'm not gonna talk to Zaya until I reach the next zone. So maybe this way. I probably won't be able to enter until I turn in. Oh, I can enter. Nice. Taking a while. Okay, there we go. And this is Rigi Vamp's fort. Let's see this guy's fort. He's growing some grass there. He's growing some weeds. Nice little neatly tidied fort. Actually, is that the basic fort? Because they supposedly improved the basic fort design. So I'm wondering if that's the basic fort design or not. Well, in any case, let's go. By the way, what would be considered inappropriate fort? Would it be considered inappropriate fort if I type fuck with props in on my fort? Like, I'm wondering what would be considered inappropriate for a fort. Still wondering, because that's something new since a patch ago or so. Being able to report forts as being inappropriate. I really have no idea what would classify a fort as inappropriate, but would be nice to know.
Oh, is that all? You look pale. Can I offer you a drink? Oh, I'll be seeing you soon.
These are perfect.
Alright, Zaya, give me the
Fool, but I knew you'd succeed.
give me the rewards.
That old drunk go anyway. No matter.
You have finished a quest. You've gained a level. You've received a quest.
And we're getting this tier 1. Now Firebelly Village. Next. Practice might seem a little bit too easy for while leveling up, but it's definitely quick. It's definitely the quick way to level out. If you don't care about the bragging rights, if you don't care about your hero batch, leveling up on practice is definitely quick to complete the quests. You might find yourself under leveled though. And that's the only downside of leveling on practice, finding yourself under leveled. So if you do, you can just redo a certain zone or open up a map portal since if it's an out, you probably would already have maps either saved up, or you would get them from contract rewards as you level up. Abandoned mine. Just gonna go straight for the mine. Maybe this one. Maybe let's kill this one. And that's a phase beast. Phase beasts, to those of you who are new to the game, phase beasts open a portal for a phase dungeon. And the phase dungeon contains a boss fight. I'm actually gonna show you. Let's show you. The phase dungeon is a boss fight. It's like a roguelike dungeon. If you die, you can't return. So try not to die in phase dungeons. And it's basically just a boss fight, a random boss fight with increased chance, actually 100% guarantee drop of what's its name? Wivebound scroll. You can get a wivebound scroll with 100% chance in those. Okay, so I'm killing him with his icicles on his head. You can see I got the wivebound scroll. Should I equip the wivebound scroll? Let's do it. Now my weapon's a little bit stronger. Just to demonstrate. Oh, actually I should have used it on this one. Well, unfortunate. Unfortunate. Wivebound items, you lose those when you die. You lose wivebound items when you die, so you gotta be careful with wivebound gear. I would have preferred if there was a durability system where you lose durability on a wivebound item when you die, and to be able to repair it instead of straight up losing the item. It would have been nice. It would have pushed me towards farming items to repair it. Long ago I made a suggestion on Note to add such a thing, to rework the wivebound system in its current form to a system that has durability, and based on the difficulty you are playing, to lose more percentages of that durability. For example, if you die on ridiculous, you straight up lose all of the durability. If you die on hard, you lose half of it maybe, or 60% or something like that. Numbers can be adjusted. And to just give us a new item, new consumable item that drops from enemies. Anvil, hammer, whatever you wanna call it, something that repairs the durability. Or maybe we can just use essences, essence of the core of the item. One blue essence filling up the durability by, for example, 50%. 2 blue essences on a blue item, filling it fully, something like that. They don't even need to make new items for it. And I think this would make the wivebound system a little bit less punishing, and something that's kind of attractive even to the more casual players, knowing that they're not gonna be able to wear the item if they die while it's wivebound, and if it breaks, but it's gonna be temporary, not permanently broken. That seems like a slightly better way than the way, at least to me. I mean, my choices and my preferences are vastly different than the majority of players. See, some people laugh that you can lose your item completely. I don't like it. I liked it before, where you can opt out of the what's it called, of the system, where you find a life bound item which is stronger, then you use the scroll on it and it's no longer life bound, but it retains the strong stats. This was pretty fun back then, but I guess they thought it's overpowered. So if it's overpowered, the system with durability seems like a very nice balance to me. And that's gonna give us, for example, if they use the essences, those essences, it's gonna give us another reason to have those, not just rerolling stats on enchantments. They should also make a system where you're rerolling the basic stats, the middle stats. In my case, faster cooldown for potions and chance to immobilize. Completely useless to me. I mean, faster cooldown for potions is actually very nice. Chance to immobilize could be fun on a melee build to make sure they don't run away for you if they're ranged enemies, but I'd much rather reroll those for damage, or crit chance, or crit damage, or damage to brawl, or damage to rapid strike, or whatever else I'm using. And I wouldn't mind getting rid of some, what's that, a blue item? Getting rid of some blue and green essences to keep rerolling that. Would be super amazing. Because right now, the way the game works is eventually you're gonna get full of essences. You're gonna be swimming with essences. Once you reach the end game and you stop farming new items, you stop changing your gear and stop enchanting gear, you would see that you're gonna have more and more and more, and this is gonna happen. 1200, 4800, 800. What do we do with this? It's too much. And I'm not saying reduce the drop rates of those, because you get them from gear. I'm just saying give us more things to do with them. And what better to do with them other than rerolling affixes? Let's go defeat Skittles. Let's give Skittles a sugar rush with that sweet DPS of the bunches of punches. And vent. No, it was too late. Kind of wasted it. Alright, I'm gonna try and get that level up right before Skittles. Will this enemy be enough? 58 XP, 59, 60, there we go. Okay, I need to remove this point when I go to the town, when I go to my fort. I'm gonna need to remove this. In the meantime, should I start saving points? I'm gonna start investing into Vortex Bomb. Vortex Bomb needs to be maxed out. This needs to be tier 2. This needs to be maxed out. This needs to be at least 1 point, ideally 3 points. Actually 1 point plus 2. Supply run map, perfect. And the shrine, nice. Who did the siege? Someone did siege. Projectiles. Why aren't bosses taking damage from Vortex Bomb? I've noticed White Vault wouldn't take damage from Vortex Bomb and this one didn't take any. And I was right next to it. I was in melee range. I was close enough to hit it with Rapid Strike. So that should mean I'm close enough to hit it with Vortex Bomb. Am I blind or is this a bug? Maybe I'm blind and I'm just not seeing the damage. I'm gonna have to check on the next boss if I don't forget. Oh, chance to shock and both fart on shock even though less damage. I'm actually gonna use it. More defense, yes. Yes please, on defense. Oh, faster cooldown for Vortex Bomb. Less defense though. Okay, what was the next quest? If I remember correctly, had to turn in. And maybe it was Yapper who gave me the next one. Actually, it should be a little bit early for Dog Jockey. Oh yeah, Excavated Workshop. It's that one.
Your pet is back.
Okay, the pet is back. Was waiting for this. The one bonus of Ridiculous while you're leveling up is you're gonna be getting a lot of contract levels done if you play on Ridiculous. Three times as many contract levels, actually more than 3 times because there's more elites. But you're getting 3 times as much fame and you're getting probably 4 times more elite spawns. Or 3 times more elite spawns in general. Whereas if you're playing on practice, you're not gonna be pushing those contract levels as often as you would want to. All those flamethrowers. Okay, which way was the boss? Maybe I can just rush it. There.
You have gained a quest.
And another spectacle drop. Oh wait, that's my pet stuff. What the fuck? Why was I? Damage with ramming robot. And the pet is full again. I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible, although even when I do try to do it as quickly as possible, I'm still not as fast as I can be. I still get sidetracked by different things. If I were to be really doing it as fast as possible, I probably wouldn't be taking most of the drops. So I would not waste time on sorting my inventory. I'm gonna quickly respec just one point. I want to remove that point from rapid fire and put it somewhere else, like vortex bomb. I want that vortex bomb cooldown very soon. Which one was the forged? Oh, this one. And since I'm here, might as well check for some gear. Oh, and send the pet to sell some stuff.
Your pet has returned.
Yeah, as I suspected, I'm too low level to benefit from any of the gear that I've got saved up. But what I can do is I can wing it and actually I'm only gonna put it on the weapon. I've got a reserve one in case this breaks. Did I max out all three of those? Okay, let's go. Oh, I had to go to the town. I forgot. Well, instead of going to the town, I'm gonna go get the next waypoint and then go to the town, maybe.
It's trapped. You have gained a level.
Should I get the golem? I think this book with flying pets seems to be kind of the same with flying and with ground pets. At least I've noticed that both flying and ground pets really need some AI changes. They need aggressive, defensive, and regular stance. I would love to see stances on my pets, and I've really noticed sometimes the pet is just very stupid. It's not attacking, it's trying to stay too close to you, and this can easily be changed if someone does some work on the AI. and makes 3 different stances: an aggressive, a defensive, and just a regular stance. That should sort this problem. But yeah, I've also noticed that there is something wrong going on there with pets. Does this guy have a work tree? No work tree. Maybe that's the default fort. But Dudu850, welcome to the Struck Club, to my channel on Twitch. Nice having you here. Hopefully they rework the pets. Not rework them, but make them smarter, expand the pet system. And the pet system is one of the things in the game that they probably didn't think is a high priority. And it probably isn't. It probably isn't really high priority to most players out there. But it's definitely something nice, and it has always been important in Torchlight 1 and 2 as a system. I'm gonna go for more cooldown for now. Need to remember, at level 15 I get Cyclone mode. So I'm probably gonna save my next points. In fact, I shouldn't have put that point here, so I could get tier 2 straight away at 15. But I've got Respectacles, so that's not a problem. Let's see. Come on, come on. There we go. What's my quest? Oh yeah, that's the Kennel quest. No, that immediately destroyed the explosive barrels. So the cannon's probably this way. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that's the dog jockey quest. Alright, moving on. Was it level 20 that I get my next skill, my next legendarium? Should be level 20 and 40. 20 and 40, but the next pet skill was at level 10. So... which one do I get? Let's get the damage for now. Okay, this way. Wrong way. Again, wrong way. Should be somewhere nearby. Could it be this way? Now, did I do damage to the boss with... Oh yeah, I did. I did do damage with Vortex Bomb. Okay, he's almost finished. Let's see the boss chest. So what's the next one? Strong Tusk. Hmm. Well, that was weird. I thought I was close enough to pull this guy with the Vortex Bomb. Now this boy.
You have gained a level.
Fair enough. So I'm gonna save my points for Cyclone. What was the next one? Mosrat then. If I'm not mistaken, it was this way. And there we go. This one is a dungeon you don't have to complete until the end. You can just exit as soon as you get the 10 nuggets. But the problem is the nuggets don't drop as much as they did before. They've realized this and made it a little bit harder. Or maybe last time I played it, it wasn't. Right now I just get 4 super quickly. So maybe it's back to how it was. On my Realm Master I had a problem. I couldn't get 10 that quickly. And on this one I'm already at 5 with the first pack of enemies. So I guess it's still a good dungeon. Right, one more pack should do the trick, as long as it's a good one. There is a trick to it though. If you don't pick them up, the further you go into the dungeon, the higher the chance of a quest item dropping. Because they made it kind of dynamically to change. Have a dynamic change of the drops of quest items. So if you haven't been lucky at the first part of the dungeon, by the time you reach the end you should be getting more and more lucky with the quest drops. Oh, 1 skill level to Vortex Bomb. Yeah boy. This is kind of the type of item I was waiting to get, but this one's even better because it gives me defense. And it's still a skill I'm using. Okay. Alright, let's go to the next dungeon now. Destroy all things. Watcher's ticket. There. The boat cap should be 6, I think, or 8. I don't know exactly the boat cap, but they nerfed it with one of the latest patches. The maximum boat's cap has been nerfed. I can try and check it quickly in just a moment. I'm gonna show you my Firefox quickly. So that's not it. It's probably the relic subclass update that changed this, but it's not this. Yeah, it must be the relics updates. So, just a moment. The maximum number. So it's one of those, most likely. Wait, this one is 4 now. Why does it always open the same one? Regardless whether it's 4 or 3, it keeps giving me the same things. This is a bug. Okay. Oh, I see what's happening here. It's showing them one after the other. Bonus Shock Bolt is now a standalone trait, which has a cap of 6. Shock status and electro skills that refer to Shocked now refer to this trait. So 6 is the cap of boats, but it was crazy. Some people could get like 16 shock boats before. So I understand why they did it. It's for performance reasons. Mostly, not to balance builds and to nerf us, just because we were wagging the server so much, we were kind of getting such bad FPS drops and such bad desyncing as a result of the shit tons of shock boats that we were doing. So it's for the server's sake, I guess. And I think, I'm not sure whether it's 6 additional shock bolts or 6 total. This I don't understand. Because I'm definitely making more than 6. Or maybe, right now I'm making 4 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, I think it's 4 right now. That I'm doing, and I'm not sure whether I've got additional boats. I've got additional boat, so the default seems to be 3, and I've got one which is 4. I'm wondering if I get another 3 whether it's gonna go over 6. Most likely it wouldn't. Most likely once you reach 6, regardless whether you get 2 more, 1 more, 3 more, it's still gonna stay in that way. If your pet does shock, it should apply. It should apply because you're still shocking it. It's not you that's shocking it, it's the pet, but it should still apply because that's kind of how pets seem to work. In fact, up until now, maybe still, pets can proc shock bolts. Not sure if that's still a thing, but let's check it. Let's let my pets attack. I have to make the enemies shocked though. But up until now, if a pet hit a shocked enemy, it could proc shock bolts. Even if the pet doesn't have the shocking affix, if I shock an enemy and then the pet hits it, That's how it used to work. Not sure if that's still the way it works though. But yeah, pets should be able to proc a relic on shock stuff. Or on hitting a shocked enemy. Maybe should be the better tip. But chance to shock, if your pet does chance to shock, it just shocks the guy. It doesn't trigger anything else, cause, well, it doesn't have the affix on the pet, right? I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly what you mean. But yeah, I think I get it. You're saying like you have a chance to shock on your pet. Whether that would allow you to proc things by hitting that shocked enemy. For example, you're not shocking the enemy yourself, the pet is shocking it, but you're hitting that enemy. You should be able to proc things that proc when hitting a shocked enemy. I'm not playing on the electrode right now to look at the skills in front of me, so it would have been better if I had the skills in front of me to tell you exactly what things the pet could proc. Well, you start with 3 bolts. If you get 3 additional, you should cap it. You should be able to cap it with just getting 3 more bolts. If the limit is 6 and you start with 3. Because right now I have 4 and I'm using +1. I'm not sure whether the relic bolts are separate. Because the relic passive should be slightly different. Because it's different bolts. It's not the bolts that you're doing on shock, it's bolts that the relic is doing. I need to check it. I'm quickly gonna open one of my videos just to see the description of this. So just give me a moment. I'm gonna go to my exports, Torchlight 3, new builds. Which one is the latest? Electric, I think. Electrified sharpshooter should have this. Just a moment. I'm gonna look into this. Shocking display. Electrode delights in being used, granting 10% chance to release shock bolts when you slay a shocked foe. See, this is releasing shock bolts when you slay a shocked foe. It's not when you hit a shock foe, it's not when you shock an enemy. So those shock bolts are separate. So you can have 6 bolts and you can have those 2 separate. Because those are triggering when you kill the shocked enemy, not when you hit a shocked enemy, not when you shock an enemy, like currently the ones you saw. So I'm assuming this is the one you're thinking about. So you can still have 6 regular shock bolts and then the other 2 from the passive. Yeah, it seems definitely good. It definitely seems good with the pet shocking. If you stack attack speed, with this 76% chance to shock, that's gonna be amazing because the faster your pet attacks, the faster it will be proccing stuff. And if you use Dryad Neckband, it can even heal you, for example. Or you can use the Nova, you can use the Shock Nova if you want even more. There's a lot of ways to build heroes in this game. There's probably more than 100 builds in total you can make across all classes and subclasses, considering all the different ways you can go with either build, with either combination. And on the surface it may not look like there's that much, but there definitely is a lot of diversity there. People that are new to the game probably may not see the depth at first, because it's not obvious depth. At least it's not very obvious. It is obvious, but not very obvious. So someone who's not experienced in that game genre may not notice all the diversity within the first couple of hours of playing. Especially since you don't see enchanting items and enchanted gear until level 46. So most people who are starting won't even know what enchanting does, won't even see enchanted items, socketed items, until level 47. 47 and higher items can roll with sockets. Right, back to Travel Point.
Potions for you? Potions for your little friend? Oh, is that
Right, I'm gonna keep moving. Let's talk to Yapper. I'm not gonna waste much time in the town.
Quest complete. You have a new quest.
29 and vortex bomb damage. This is very tempting. Oh, bro skills damage. I don't have very good crit chance right now, so maybe that damage would be better than the crit damage.
You can't cast that spell here.
Come on, come on. Oh, wait, I missed this. And with the White Vault Cave Breaker, it's very good for builds that are relying on proccing shock bolts and stuff like that. White Vault's Cave Breaker, amazing item for proc builds. Even if it doesn't do that much damage, each one of those stalactites falling can trigger shock bolts and stuff like that. And apply shock as well. So if you're not using it, consider using it. Consider the White Vault's Cave Breaker if you can swat it in the Legendarium. You can always experiment. If you don't like it, of course you can remove it. But it's my suggestion to consider using that if you're going for a build with shock stuff and proc stuff. I'm not sure whether this will be a shocky stuff build, but shock and procs are always good, regardless whether you're using the shock relic or not. Having shock bolts and having other things to proc things is not a bad idea. But I definitely want to max out Snowstorm for this setup. Still saving my skill points for Cyclone. Alright, let's just run. I'm not gonna fight until the boss. Well, those are tempting to fight, but I can get fame and stuff later. When I'm done with the story, I can switch to ridiculous and just farm fame for items for this guy. Okay. He's saying, I have never tried this class. Is it a bit slower than the Realm Master, but also a bit more tanky because of the block with well, you can use shield on any class. You can use shield on any class. I'm not gonna say this is tankier than Realm Master. In fact, Realm Master is more tanky than this because Realm Master has many sources of damage reduction, such as the shield car. A great source of damage reduction. Then you have a hammer spin, another thing that can give you damage reduction. With this guy you don't have either of those, so you only have the 70% damage reduction from what's its name, from Fighter Spirit. I think what they need to do is change this skill that I'm right now using, power projection, instead of giving you defense, to give you damage reduction. To give you 50% damage reduction instead of 50% defense. But this guy is very good if you're stacking defense. If you're stacking defenses on your armor, with power projection and other things, you can buff it up. In fact, if you play it on a poison build, you can get 3 different sources of extra defense. I've got my Mechromancer build, which is 50% damage reduction from Miasma, 50% damage reduction from Poison Nova, 50% damage reduction from power projection. And there's diminishing returns, so you're not really getting real 150% of your defense. So if you have 10,000 defense, you're not gonna get 25 total. You're not gonna get another 15,000. It's not how it works. Or at least the resistances don't work that way. But yeah, I didn't notice exactly, because you know, sometimes right now I can have 45% damage prevention from 374, and if I use this is 481, but it's 61%. 61% damage prevented. So those numbers might be exactly 150% right now. But this one doesn't give me, what is that, 22.5 on top of it. Because it would have been 67.5. So the more defense you get, the bigger the diminishing return when it comes to percentages, damage reduction, percentages resistance. But it's still nice. It's still nice on Forged and with the Poison Relic to stack those resistances, because you can take turns. There's no point in stacking all 3 at the same time, but you can take turns, 1, the second, and the third, or 1 and the second, and then the third afterwards. But yeah, this guy is not as tanky as as for example damage reduction stacking Realm Master hybrid with shield car and hammer spin, and maybe using the Blood Drinker relic for more damage reduction, or maybe using Poison Nova for defense stacking. You can get damage reduction on any hero with the Blood Drinker, 50% damage reduction from the Blood Drinker living barrier. You can get 50% damage reduction from Skittering Shoulders on any class, but the cap is 90%. You can never get more than 90% damage reduction, and that damage reduction is separate from the resistances. So you have those resistances here. They are different from this damage reduction that I can get from, I'm gonna show you with the Fighter Spirit. This damage reduction, right now it's 50%. Not sure if you can see it. It should show up somewhere, I'm not sure where. I'm gonna try and leave just one enemy alive so I can show you. But this is when using melee attacks. And it also works on any class, you just need to use a melee attack. And since Sharpshooter and Disc Mage don't have melee skills, you have to only use basic melee attacks on those if you wanna get Fighter Spirit. I'm not sure where, and this one, 50% damage reduction. So this one goes up to 90%. You get 50% with Fighter Spirit, and on Forged and Realm Master you have a passive on Vortex Bomb or on what was the name, Blasting Charge, that can make it up to 70%. So whenever you use a melee attack, regardless whether it's a basic attack or a skill, this becomes 70% damage reduction with that passive. And then if you combine something like the Skittering Shoulder or the Living Barrier or the Hammer Spin bonus or the Shield Car, you can make that 90% easily. Even without the extra 20% damage reduction for Fighter Spirit, if you keep default Fighter Spirit with just 50% damage reduction, you can still max it out at 90 with the Skittering Shoulder or the Hammer Spin or the Shield Car. That damage reduction on Ridiculous is very good. It's amazing. And that's why ranged Forge right now is kind of full range Forge that's not using Fighter Spirit is kind of underwhelming, and I think there's a very easy way to fix ranged Forged, and that's to change this, instead of giving 50% bonus defense, to give you 50% damage reduction, and instead of 8 seconds, 6 seconds maybe. Although it's healing you per second. Oh no, it's no longer healing per second, it's healing you when you use it. So yeah, to make it balanced, 6-second duration, but 50% damage reduction. And you can use that on a ranged Forged build. And it's gonna be much more useful to have 50% damage reduction instead of 50% increased defense. At least that's how I see things, and I've played enough to test different things, to test stacking defense or stacking damage reduction. And that's the one thing that the Forged is missing right now, to let it self-stack and cap the damage reduction without having to rely on items. Because right now you can get 90% without items. Well, without items or relics. Let's not forget about Living Barrier. But if you're not doing a Blood Drinker Forged, you can't stack it, other than with the Skittering Shoulders. And I think it's a reasonable request for them to change the defense bonus to a damage reduction bonus. Even if it's not 50%, but like 30% or 20%, with 70% from Fighter Spirit upgraded, all you need is 20% more. but on a ranged build 50% would be perfect. I really hope they would consider that on a ranged build. On a ranged build you can use skittering shoulders, and if they change power projection to give 50%, that would be enough to max it. Or on a ranged build with the blood drinker, 50% from living barrier, 50% from power projection, boom, you're sorted. Without needing the shoulders. Well, defense is not only against melee enemies, defense helps against any type of damage that you take from this element. It could be ranged attack, it could be a hazard on the ground. It's just some sort of resistance against that element. But defense, as I said, is diminishing returns. And it just doesn't work as well when you're stacking the defense versus stacking the damage reduction. They've already mentioned that they would look into reworking some forged things after launch. So they don't have time now before launch to rework the forged to make it better. So I'm probably gonna suggest for people to stay away from the forged, at least from the ranged forged. The melee forged is still fine on launch until they rework it. So there's gonna be a few builds that are kind of underpowered, so avoid those ranged forged builds post launch until they rework it. That's my advice. If you want a build that's not underpowered, or not severely underpowered at least, just stick to Railmaster, Sharpshooter, Dusk Mage or Melee Forged for now. Until they rebalance and rework some of the other stuff. I mean, it's still gonna be fine, and with good gear you're still gonna do damage, but you're gonna be severely underpowered compared to how much damage other things can do in the game. Most of the ranged forged skills really need some changes. For example, I would love to see the forged have a summoner skill. Every other class has a summoner skill, and I think Poison Dart is the best skill to make summoner. Poison Dart, for example, it shoots a poison projectile, and it leaves a poison field on the ground. But if they maybe reduce the damage you do with that skill, and make it so that when you make that poison field on the ground, from the poison field on the ground for a automaton to appear, poison automaton, that shoots enemies from afar with poison darts. Actually, it would be even better if you're not shooting the poison dart yourself, but rather summoning poison dart shooting automatons. That would be the better option, because you have ancestral spirits on the Realmaster, you have netherlings on the mage, you have goblins, Shasta and a Netherim caster on the sharpshooter. And with the way they've reworked the relics to have the Bane be the summoner relic, I would love to see Poison Dart reworked to a skill that lets us summon automaton, regardless whether we are summoning the automaton from within the poison pool of Poison Dart, or whether the Poison Dart completely changes to a skill that summons automatons. It could be throwing a jar. You know those mythical from the mythology and legends, those jars where people put a scorpion, a snake, a spider, and a bunch of other poisonous enemies, poisonous creatures, until the strongest one survives. There was a name, I forgot the name of it, but imagine you shooting such a jar, and from out of that jar a spider or a scorpion or whatever showing up and fighting for you. But make it a automaton one. I mean, war-wise there's many ways how it can go, but I really would love to see the Forge having its own summoner class skill and not rely on items and relic. And rapid fire, Rapid Fire Tier 3 is one of the most underwhelming Tier 3 bonuses in the game. Because it becomes useless once you get the Rapid Fire extra repeater. And Swag Shot, I really like the old Swag Shot. So you could get it to 100% crit before. Before early access, during the alpha and some parts of the beta. Swag Shot worked in such a way where when you max it out you get 102% crit chance, and every Swag Shot was a crit. And it was a very fun build back then. Right now it's kind of underwhelming. I really don't like Swag Shot the way it is now. You can have every third one crit, but with this slow attack speed, it's not fun. Maybe with an electrode build where you're stacking casting speed. If casting speed affects Swag Shot, and I think it does, maybe that's gonna be the only thing that could make Swag Shot fun. I can actually try such a build after the game launches. I can try a Swag Shot electrode zealot build. If someone has an electrode ranged forged, feel free to test it. Swag Shot with 1000 volt burst and maybe with the Conjure Electrode tier 3 bonus for extra casting speed. And just stacking that 75% casting speed and to see if Swag Shot attacks quicker with it. That's just an idea there for someone who's bored and wants to try a weird build. Definitely not the most obvious synergy. Casting speed is still new to us in the game, and I'm still to see a list. I would like to see a list from the developers of every single skill that gets affected by casting speed. I heard that every channel skill is supposed to get affected. So Holy Fury, Rapid Fire, Rapid Strike, Cyclone Mode, what else? Swag Shot, what else is channeled? Anything that you're channeling, any skill where you're holding the button and the skill can keep doing its thing, should get boosted. Absolver definitely gets boosted, Holy Bolt definitely gets boosted, Unholy Bolt gets boosted, Entropy as well when it's not on cooldown. So if you can hold the button like this and the skill would keep doing its thing, then it should benefit from casting speed. Oh, this bonus damage, man, this is a nice bonus damage. I'm losing the shock. Don't want to lose the shock, but maybe it's time. Always keep a backup. I always keep a backup there. There's a little bit left of this act. Soon we're gonna be killing the final boss of this act. But yeah, with this build, when I'm done with this build in a couple of days or 3 days from now, depending how good I do on my stream today with the leveling, when I'm done with this, I would have one build suggested for every relic and quas combo. That was my mission ever since the the relic subquest update, when they made the relic a permanent subquest choice. My mission since then has been to have for every one of the 20 combinations, quest plus subquest, something to offer the players out there. Something as an idea. It may not be a meta build, but just some sort of an idea of how the combination can be played. And I've got 2 for the sharpshooter and Cold Heart. I've got 2 for the Realm Master and Electrode. I've got 2, but for anything else right now I've only got 1, and this is the only one that I didn't have an idea for until now. Eventually I'm gonna be repeating certain combos. I will be repeating them. For example, on the Dusk Mage, if I was doing a mostly light stuff with Holy Bolt and Absolver and stuff, I would be doing stuff with Unholy Bolt just to experiment with it and things like that. On the Sharpshooter, if I was doing something with targeted strikes, I would be testing other things like tight grouping, like explosive arrow, things like that. If I was focusing on summons, I can focus on the other. On my next, for example, Bane Sharpshooter, mostly with the Sharpshooter and with the Dusk Mage on the Bane, I've been focusing on summons. The same goes for my Realm Master. But I would like to do a slammer with the poison on a Realm Master as well, just to see the difference there. Again, there's so many different ways to build a hero. I definitely can't, I don't have the time to do every single possible build, but eventually I would have so many different builds to offer once I spent enough time. But keep in mind, there's Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is launching on the 30th, so 6 days from now, on Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is the Baldur's Gate 3 launch. And I'm gonna be doing a playthrough and streaming it. And until I'm done with my first playthrough with Baldur's Gate 3, I'm probably not gonna return to Torchlight 3. So that's probably gonna be a few days. They're saying right now the game can offer you in its one act. It only has one act because it's early access. Baldur's Gate 3 would offer 25 hours, roughly. I'm not sure whether that's just the main quests or main quests and side quests. But they're saying that it has much more to offer than Divinity Original Sin 2. So more content in Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3 than Act 1 of Divinity Original Sin 2. And Divinity Original Sin 2 definitely took me quite a while to finish the first act the first time I played it, to get off of that island. So that's good news to me. If there's just as many and even more side quests, definitely good news. Where's the damn witching grounds? I can't find them. Are they here? No, they're not here. I think I know where they are. The one place I didn't check.
You have gained a level.
Yeah, I see it now on the map. Okay. After this quest, there's probably just one more to finish the act, or maybe two more. So we're getting close to the end of Act 1.
Your pet has run away.
The pet ran away. I should have just sent it to the town myself.
More people come. More busy, nosy tools of the Emperor.
Reason.
How many decades will they throw their warm bodies at my shore, only to be left here pallid and cold? I made myself clear that they are unwelcome. Now they will face their own long past history.
I just didn't get healed from power projection. Didn't they fix this skill to heal? Did it get broken again? I'm pretty sure power projection used to heal. Or maybe I took damage at the same time and that's why my HP didn't move. Let's check it. 485. No, it still doesn't heal. Oh, because I don't have the tier 1 bonus, never mind. I forgot I don't have the items for skill levels. I'm pretty sure it's fixed. I'm pretty sure they fixed it a couple of updates ago. Couple of major updates ago. Don't die, don't die. I've got a wife-bound weapon. I wanna keep it. I wanna keep my wife-bound weapon. Hate this boss because she can't be pulled. Most of the time she gets stuck there and she doesn't wanna go outside of that place. I wish I could just pull her around here and kill her outside. It's hard to get her there. Come on, come on, come on. Move, 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 move. Oh, finally. She's in a good spot now. There she is.
Your health is low.
Damn, this doesn't feel like practice. Taking so long to kill this boss on the easiest difficulty. Imagine if I was doing ridiculous with this underpowered setup. And I'm even using wife-bound scrolls for extra damage. I mean, I could get rid of the shield and just go two-hander. What relic do you suggest for Realm Master? Is all types equally good for melee, or is there any specifically great synergies? Well, the obvious synergy for a train build, if you want a train build, would be the Bane, because minion damage increases the train damage. Just knowing this probably lets you go wild with train stuff. If you want melee, any relic is fine, but the obvious synergies would be the Blood Drinker. It would be the Cold Heart is also not a bad synergy for a melee. And the Electrode. The Electrode is good on any build, on any class. I love Electrode for proc monster builds. Builds where you want a lot of damage from procs. With Thunderstrike. But yeah, on Realm Master, there is no best relic for each class, because each class has different ways of playing them. You can play a trained Realm Master, you can play a melee Realm Master. And for each relic and class combo, there's different ways to play it. For example, I can play a melee Realm Master with the Bane, which is probably one of the most unusual combinations, and it could still be fun with Poison Nova, giving me extra defense and getting spread of that to proc things. But it's not your usual choice. It's not gonna be your usual Bane Train Realm Master as a combination, which would be the more obvious combo: minion damage and trains. But yeah, for melee Realm Master, I really love the Blood Drinker with Drain and Living Barrier for survivability. But you can get a lot of survivability from Miasma and from Poison Nova on the Bane as well. And with the Realm Master build I uploaded, which is kind of underpowered right now, the one I uploaded last, the Freezing Slammer, it's not a bad option as well, because you do have some interesting synergy with Snowstorm freezing the nearby enemies. And when it's fixed, you would be doing crits every time you hit a frozen enemy. But right now it doesn't work that way. You don't crit every time you hit a frozen enemy right now. Only 40% of the time. And Electrode is just fun. Electrode is amazing on any class, on any build. Electrode with Thunder Strikes and Tingling Sensation and that other skill, I forgot the name, the one with the shock bolts. Shocking Display, that's the one. So Shocking Display, Tingling Sensation, Walk-A-Wise Storm and Thunder Strike together with 1000 Volt Burst. This is amazing. Combine that with the Cave Breaker and we get something very fun there. And it can work on any class. The things I told you work on any class. This thing. Tingling Sensation maxed out. Shocking Display maxed out. Thunder Strike maxed out. Energizer maxed out. Max level Walk-A-Wise Storm. And maybe level 1, 3, 6 or 10 1000 Volt Burst, up to you. Based on the class, sometimes you might want to just one point it. Sometimes you might want to put more points into it. And combine this with the Wide Walls Cave Breaker. Don't forget, if you're making one such build, to do the Cave Breaker, this item. Whether Bane is more tanky in melee than Blood Drinker, I wouldn't say more tanky, because you get a 50% defense from 2 skills. But that's not damage reduction, that's not real damage reduction, that's resistances. Which still translates into damage reduction, just as I said, diminishing returns with defense. But Blood Drinker gives you healing, multiple sources of healing. Bloodseekers maxed out is great. Drain maxed out is great. And even if you just 1 point on a melee build, I like just 1 pointing Living Barrier. Because I don't like the knockback on melee builds. I like the enemies being next to me, not knocking them away from me. That's why I play with Van Vortex Bomb on this class, for example. So you can just 1 point, 1 tap the Living Barrier, but if you want you can put more points. If you're fine with the knockback, the tier 1 bonus. And you don't have to put points into Rupture, but it's fine, it's something fun. But it's not gonna help your survivability, it's a damage stuff. But yeah, if you consider the healing from Drain and the healing from Bloodseekers and the damage reduction from Living Barrier, it is a good thing. It is a good setup. And if you want to stack evasion with Bok Chance, for example, you're stacking Bok Chance on your gear and evasion from relics with the Flaming Destroyer, it's amazing. In fact, Flaming Destroyer is super overpowered. You can just spam Sword Smash. And that's your build, just spamming Sword Smash, nothing else. Just that. And that's a build on its own. The same goes for Chaotic Strikes. On the Electrode you can make a build that's spamming Chaotic Strikes. And that's your build, just spamming Chaotic Strikes. Stacking Energizer and some extra other sources of energy generation from items and skill passives. And just spamming Sword Smash or Chaotic Strikes and maybe using the Egg of Mayhem. That by itself is a very strong build on those two relics. Sword Smash is a single hit, whereas with the Chaotic Strikes, you can upgrade it to do double the strikes, and each of those whitenings can hit multiple times, so you have to keep that in mind as well. So yeah, definitely many ways to play any class.
Oh yes, potions. I've got. See you next time. Potions for you? Potions for your little friend? Oh, is that all?
Alright, I'm gonna quickly remove 1 point from Ramming Robot, because I've got 1 point in my helmet, and put that point into Cyclone mode, because I'm now 15, meaning I've got some points to spend. I can remove 1 point from Vortex Bomb as well, I think. Oh, this bug happened. Do you see the bug? It's telling me that I'm not getting the bonus level. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. It's fixed. I've seen it happen multiple times when respecking. But anyways, I want those points here. Let me check if I've got some items for the forged. I think I'm done here. I don't have any forged storage. I've got sharpshooter here. I've got disc mage here.
Your pet has arrived.
I have 0 forged storage here. Let's go kill Brow. I might play one-handed for Brow, so I can block. Oh, I'm forgetting something very important here. Yeah, the block and evasion are capped at 40%, so you can have 40% block chance and 40% evasion, which is 36% chance to get hit. So 64% chance to either block or evade, if you have both of them capped. Which is not too bad, it's pretty decent when you stack 40% evasion and 40% block chance. And again, keep in mind, some evasions give you block chance, other evasions, some relics give you block chance, some relics give you evasion. The fire relic is the one that gives you a lot of evasion. For block chance, was it the electrode? I can't remember what gave block chance. So if you're stacking one of those things from items, try to get the one that you don't get from the relic. Because with the relic you can probably cap it in that one stat that it gives you. It's super easy to cap your evasion on a Flaming Destroyer build with just the relic stuff. But when you block, you don't take any damage. When you evade right now, the evasion will change. The evasion system, when they added it, they said it's just a placeholder the way it works for now. It will work differently, but for now evasion works the exact same way as block chance. So it's definitely fun stacking those two together. Oh, I forgot I wanna do one-handed here. My pet needs food. Well, it's almost midnight. It's 11:30 in the evening. After this fight, I'm probably gonna just go to Act 2 and end it and feed my pet. But tomorrow I will be continuing where I leave off today, and I will be hopefully getting level 60 tomorrow. And Dudu850, thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Again, welcome to the Stroke Club to you. It is appreciated. Huh? Cyclone mode still feels a little bit weird, but I think that's not the final version of Cyclone mode. I think they mentioned that they fixed it to be moving, but that it's still not moving the way they wanted it to. So hopefully that's not how they wanted Cyclone mode to move, and make it a little bit faster. Because look at it, it's kind of like stuttering. It's like he's suffering from some sort of weird disability when he's moving with this skill. 2 steps forwards, 1 step backward or something like that. Look at it. Compared to this speed. I would love to move with my regular speed when using Cyclone mode. Yeah, if you want to see diversity, you can check my builds on my website. Some of them are a little bit outdated video-wise. Some of the videos are outdated, but the text information I updated. There's only one build that needs to be updated from the post relic subclass builds. The builds that have been made since the relic subclass update. The only one that needs to be updated is my scatter shot. I've not forgotten about it, I'm just wondering what exactly to do with it, with those extra 10 skill points. It's still post-relic subclass build, but it doesn't include the extra 10 skill points, and it doesn't include the changes they made to the relics, such as this skill no longer giving you 25% ice damage. So it will not use those 5 points there, which means I've got 15 more points to consider for my scatter shot build, and I'm gonna see what I'll do with it. Time will tell. I'm probably gonna update it tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, I've got enough builds there to give you some ideas. You can just watch the videos at the beginning, and at the end there's gameplay if you just wanna see what it looks like playing the build. And the text version on my website has been updated, and at the bottom there's screenshots that suggest how to spend the skill points differently with the 70 skill points included. So you're gonna see things like let me try and show you an example. Things like this. Things like this, that's just showing you how to spend the points. So, of course, that's for my sharpshooter summoner build. That's completely different thing, but yeah, that's what you can expect. Okay, I'm gonna turn in this quest. I'm gonna go to Travel Point, feed my pet, who's been bugging me for food. And tomorrow I'm not gonna be editing a video, so that means I should start streaming much sooner than today. Right now it's 11:35 p.m. here. It's 11:35 p.m. here, so tomorrow probably around 1 or 2, 13, 14, let's say it like that. 1 or 2 p.m. is when I'm gonna start streaming. It depends when I wake up, but by 1 or 2 in the afternoon I should be up and ready to stream. So thanks Truckwop for watching. Keep it cool until next time from me and goodbye.